friends, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am going to do a trash to treasure transformations. Now this is a collab hosted by Casey with Coffee with My Sunshine. So I will have a link down in my description box to a playlist so you can see everyone else's trash to treasure transformations. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Julie, and here on my channel, I do DIYs, home decor, and organization, and I do it on a budget. So if that's something that interests you, make sure you hit the red subscribe button as well as the bell so you don't miss any future videos. You've heard the saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And in the case of these nesting tables, that is exactly what happened. I had a friend that was moving and she was going to throw these away. And I said I would keep them. And here they are. I am finally going to refinish them. Now these are solid wood and they're in really good condition in the sense of structure. They just look really, really bad. They are very beat up. They needed a makeover. Now this piece here is a piece that my husband and I bought a couple years ago. And this is going to be the inspiration from a makeover. So the bottom of these nesting tables, I'm going to paint black to kind of give it that metal look. And then I'm going to stain the top a darker wood finish. Now, to begin this project, I am going to use an electric sander and I am going to completely remove the finish from just the top portion of the tables. Now, I am no expert at refinishing furniture. I just grabbed a piece of sandpaper, but it was pre-used and it did not take the finish off very well. So once I realized that I needed a really good, coarse, brand new piece of sandpaper, the finish came off very quickly. So once I had removed the finish off the top of both of the tables, I went through with another piece of sandpaper and just used my hand. I just hand sanded, not to completely remove the finish off the legs, but just to kind of roughen it up so that the paint would adhere better. And I'm going to be painting the tables using this black satin paint that I picked up from Walmart. This was something that I already had on hand because we had used it in my son's bedroom makeover. And the reason I am actually going to be painting first instead of staining the top is because my husband recommended that I do it this way, because if I get any of the black paint on the stained area, to sand it all off and redo it would just be a pain, where if I get a little bit of black on the edging where I want to stain it, I can easily just sand it off before I even stain anything. And he was right. You will see I did get some black on the edges where I didn't want black. And then this tragedy happened to my slipper. I accidentally stepped right in the lid of the paint can. So here I am showing you where I did get a little bit of the black around the edges. And I am just going to take a little piece of sandpaper and I am going to scrape it off. It comes off really easily, so it wasn't a problem. But it is important to do because you don't want it to look sloppy. And this was something I did once it was dry. I didn't do it when the black was wet because then the sand would get all in the paint. Now it is time to begin staining, and I'm going to be using this Jacobsen stain. It is a Minwax wood stain. It's a little bit on the darker side, which I really like. And I'm also going to use a rag and a foam brush. Now notice I'm smarter this time. I'm going to put the lid under the table so I don't step in it accidentally. So I don't know if you know how to stain or not, but you just wipe it on. You could wipe it on with a rag or a brush. The whole point is just to get some stain on the table, and then you're going to wipe it off. The darker you want the stain, the longer you want it to just sit and let the wood soak it in. Actually, to be honest with you, after this was completely done, I'm wishing I would have let it sit a little longer so that it would have been a little bit darker. So once it is the way you want it, you're just going to take a rag and you're going to wipe off the stain. It's really that simple. So I wanted to just show you something that I made a mistake with. I had gone through in a couple areas and hand sanded, and I hand sanded in the wrong direction of the grain. Now I could have gone back and fixed it. I ended up leaving it because I wanted it to have an old used look anyway. But if you don't want it to look like that, make sure you're sanding it in the direction of the grain of wood. Now the stain is dry. I'm going to use some polyurethane and I'm going to give it a coat. Once the first coat dries, you're going to want to lightly sand down the surface and wipe it off and then give it another coat. And you're going to want to do this probably 2 or 3 times. Now, unfortunately, the weather changed. Like I put on this coat, you can kind of see it's sunny out. Well, a storm came in and the air was really humid and the air temperature dropped and it took forever to dry. Well, we ended up bringing the tables in the house and it dried so quickly. So I recommend either doing this when it's really dry air outside or bringing it in your house and doing it. And now the smell can be a little bit annoying, but you got to do what you got to do to get it dry. And for this, all I'm doing is using a foam brush and brushing it on. And I like to make sure it's a nice even coat and then it goes all the way from one side to the other side so there isn't any brush strokes. Not that you typically end up actually seeing it with the polyurethane. It's pretty good at covering up stuff like that. Here's a little snippet from when we brought them in and I had them sitting up on my kitchen table to dry. And trust me, it was so worth having them in the house. Guys, I am obsessed. I am in love with how this turned out. I've actually already started another furniture transformation for you guys. It's a totally different look. It's more of a shabby chic kind of look, but I am going to be sharing that in a couple days. So here's how the tables look. I think they look brand new. They are old and yet they look brand new. I am loving it. If you guys are looking for some more DIY transformations, check out this video here. Don't forget to go check out the playlist below. Give this video a thumbs up if you like furniture transformations, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.